Gotta go. But thanks. On with the show.
Hey, fellow mutants, welcome back to another video. So I am a 90s baby, early 2000s kid, and I lived in towards the end of the golden era for Disney series, when the majority of Disney shit were actually good, both on their Disney Channel side and their Disney movie side, and the theme parks. Being born, I feel prior to the year 2012 was golden year for Disney. Post 2012, it starts getting shaky, and since it wants to do the 15 best Disney Channel shows of the 2000s era, I so had to do this, read this article. I know some. I just don't know all that's on here because I wanted most of this to be spoiler, to be my first gut reaction to it. To you guys, so let's get this to read. So 15. I won't read through this entire thing, but I will list off the series, I guess. Number 15, the Lilo and Stitch series. That was, oh my lord. That was all. I loved the Lilo and Stitch series as a kid. I didn't rewatch it, because I wonder how I feel about it now. But Lilo and Stitch was one of the best Disney films of the 2000s. It balanced of whimsy, creative, local color, and genuinely affecting small-scale storytelling, made for a wholly unique blend with the Disney catalog. Almost something almost Jubilee like. It was no wonder that it captured the imaginations of kids, nor that it was developed into a proper full-fledged franchise. This being still, of course, Disney like Ghibli, bookended by two featured full-length films that served as a pilot and a finale. Lilo and Stitch, the series, follows Lilo and Stitch as they track down Jumba's experiments all over Hawaii and struggle to keep both of them from wreaking havoc and find a way to integrate them into human societies. Plots are varied and engaging, down to Chris Grumpy villain and sidekick dynamic with X625 is winning. And the animation is much better than it needed to be. Mostly, though, the show was just works irreproachably as an excuse to dive back into the film's cozy world. Yeah, because there's what, Lilo and Stitch? There's technically three films. Lilo and Stitch, Lilo and Stitch 2, and Leroy and Stitch. Which I think and Stitch, because I can't remember if there was uh yeah, the second one was called Stitch Has His Glitch. And I think that's technically number two. And then there's the a third one called Leroy and Stitch, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was. And maybe I was fooling myself about Leroy and Stitch. Anyways, I love the Lilo and Stitch series. As a kid, I just liked the nonsensical nature of it. That is about my alley. And I wonder if it's gonna be like still holds to this day, like what, 20 years later? Even Stevens, wow. Um, so one of the earliest original live action shows to bear the Disney logo was Even Stevens, a single camera family sitcom that ran for 3 seasons between 2000 and 2003. A highly successful wow for a Disney Channel production, especially then. The show, while far from revolutionary, was a solid and reliable, entertaining slice of family-friendly storytelling, dosed in a warm, ceremonial memento haze that made it pleasantly real, grounded, and specific, even as the characters up, got up to typically goofy kids sitcom antics. I remember like the theme song to Even Steven. Also, was claymation, so I love that. Arguably, best remembered as the show that introduced the world to Shia LaBeouf and won him a Daytime Emmy, the only letter so far to his potential EGOT. Even Stevens, which I don't even know what EGOT means. Even Stevens had a strong cast across the board, who managed to make the story of Louise and Len Stevens' home and school lives alike feel constantly believable. The show is also notably for helping codify the classic early 2000s family sitcom aesthetic, complete with colorful sets and costumes, fish eyes lens, and speed up photography. Yeah, like they were saying it wasn't like Ralufus, Ralufus, Raluf, Raluf, revolutionary. There you go. So it wasn't revolutionary, but it stated that it was like amongst the first of the live action series. I think it might not be like as a revolutionary as you might think or give it credit like in standard terms. I think it was revolutionary because it helped Disney Channel to like bring more like live action shows that came after like this is like I think That's So Raven came out around the same time. I think That's So Raven came out shortly after Even Stevens did. So like That's So Raven, Good Luck Charlie, Ant Form. Uh, those three shows are the only ones I'm thinking of at the moment. Lab Rats and other live action shows to be on Disney Channel later on to be the like to be more of a regular thing. So it was in a way revolutionary, but probably not as in the terms you might think. It's just in terms of help live action stuff on Disney Channel be more welcome. Did that make sense? Oh, True Life of Psycho Cody, Hannah Montana, etc. Those two were the other ones I was thinking of, but I had a brain fart too. Not remember because I'm getting old. Anyways, even though I'm 28. Anyways, the Buzz on Maggie. I don't remember this one. Perhaps the most offbeat animated series ever produced by Disney Channel, The Buzz on Maggie was not exactly an audience hit, nor it particularly well remembered, even among the channel's most fervently nostalgic old fans. But let the record show that it was a smart, amusing, cranky little show that deserved more attention. Following Maggie, a teenage fly experiencing the pitfalls of growing up in the society of flies, closing marrying naturally. American everyday life, the buzz on Maggie was surprisingly satirical for a Disney show. Maggie, while not exactly a beacon of sympathy, was more engagingly abrasive protagonist that kids' shows can usually afford, and the show's sociological snarks and proclivity for gross out humor made it an arguable predecessor to the wave of experiences cartoons of the 2010s. In fact, maybe the buzz on Mackie would have thrived on Cartoon Network in this Disney stable. It feels like a fascinating outlier. I mean, it does kind of seem like a animation. Based off of this image, seem like more like a Cartoon Network show than a Disney Channel show, but who knows? Brandy and Mr. Whiskers. I remember these characters. I must have watched the series, but I don't remember. Sometimes it doesn't need to be more complicated than striking premise. Clear comedic setup, diligent execution. The premises: a dog and a rabbit uh, from a cargo airplane and land on an uninhabited island, where they will have to learn to survive in the wild. The comedic setup: Brandy. Um, oh, that was voiced by Kaylee Coco. Wow, okay. Brandy, the dog, is a spoiled Palm Beach golden retriever. The rabbit, Mr. Whiskers, is a dim-witted derelict who was on his way to the zoo where he was sold for 39 cents. Damn, that was cheap. Okay. You think all signs point up to branding um, being the fish out of water among the wild beasts and daily trials of the jungle, while Mr. Whiskers would be the malleable wild card who can adapt to any crazy situation. But that's where the execution comes in. Brandy and Mr. Whisker keeps spreading for expectation twisting, foreseeable scenarios, and find hilarious riffs on the established personalities of its two anti-heroes. Add another cast of charismatic jungle animals, a SpongeBob-esque taste of surrealism, and genuinely affecting, budding friendship tale, and you've got a winner. Like I remember seeing these two characters. I would think I watched it. I think I might have. I just I remember seeing these two characters at some point. So this I can explain. It's it's actually a series of Corey. Uh, he moved out of the typical Baxter home. Um, and he lived to the president's house with his father. And I think this was I know this was the first Raven that's all Raven spinoff because there's Raven's home. But yeah, this was the first That's So Raven spinoff. But it was solely about Corey. I liked it. On paper, a That's So Raven spinoff about Corey Baxter living in the White House while his father gets a job as a personal chief of to the president reads like one of those desperate spin-off ideas that reek of stretching things too thin. In practice, Corey in the House turned out to be one of the most purely fun and hilarious live action shows ever produced by Disney Channel. In addition to the grounding central performances of Kyle Massey himself as most of a superstar as Ravens Moon, Corey in the House boasted a vibrant game cast of teens and adults who all seem perfectly keyed in on the right tone for the politics as slapstick premise. Everything on the show was always seemed just shy of actually serious. From CIA secret to run-ins with diplomats, yet the hovering jokes that was the idea of Washington D.C. political life could be turned into a circle of goofy kid-friendly humor. Until Veep would turn, I guess, and until Veep would another show treat American politics with such replenished disrespect. I don't know what they talk about with that, but man, that was that. You would think Corey in the House would be a dumb spin-off satire thing that shouldn't be made, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. Oh, American Jack and Jake Long. Now that was like amongst my favorite as a kid. We'll see what this like the description will say, but oh, this was a teenager who also had dragon heritage. He was part dragon, part teen. He was like teenager by day essentially, dragon by night, trying to take out crime. And like he falls in love with this nymph named Rose, who forgets her memory, and I'm spacing if she ever remembers him. But this American Dragon Jake Long was also voiced by the same guy who did Zuko in After the Last Airbender. This was the shit for me back in the day. Um, okay, I'm gonna skip to this part. As the title suggests, the show tells on the of the American teenage boy who belongs to a lineage of half dragon humans and learn to wield his dragon powers proficiency in order to become a guardian to a whole undercover population of mystical creatures in New York City, a high watermark of Asian representation in American kids TV in the 2000s. The show synthesized Chinese and American culture into a seamlessly constructed inner world, full of energy, excitement, and compelling kid-oriented long-form storytelling. It evoked the spirit of the best adventure cartoons of the mid to late 20th century, but with a significantly more interesting aesthetic from inspiration. I'm pretty sure this is on Disney Plus. If this is on Disney Plus, I highly recommend watching this show because this show is great. It deserves more love. Oh, Wizards of Waverly Place. That's actually my first time seeing like Selena Gomez in anything. And I just look I'll just give you a quick synopsis of that because I know it's on Disney Plus and it's getting a sequel. Wizards of Waverly Place is about a family of wizards. Like, more so about Selena Gomez character. Essentially, like I'm going to reference the movie with this too. Essentially, training to be the next wizard in her family. Like her brother in the show has same goal, but it's clearly if you pay close attention to the entire series, it's about Selena Gomez's character. So yeah. Anyways, oh, the Proud Family. I remember that show. That show was a shit back in the day for me too. In 2001, the Bruce W. Smith created the Proud Family and was twice a trailblazer. Not only was it the first original Disney Channel animated series ever, but was one of the first animated series to be wholly centered around a black family. And they even tried to like reboot this too. Failed. I haven't even seen it, but I've heard that they have a Kingdom Hearts pun in it, and I've seen that Kingdom Hearts pun, which I love. Given the momentousness of what is represented, the Proud Family could have settled for being a broad, straight down the middle show about a typical suburban family that just happened to be black and would have still been revolutionary. Instead, the show made a point of rendering black American life with specifically witty humor and real world seriousness. Although it occasionally tripped over comedic stereotypes that's now dated, it was the first TV reflection of cultural relatability experienced for millions of black kids across the U.S. Now, if you guys want to like read the rest, you can of this. You can scan out. Always put a link to the articles I read in the description of the video, so you guys can read it all. If you guys want, if I ever skip any of the information, but I don't remember like it being like too serious. But yeah, again, it came out in 2001. I was 5 when it came out. I just watched it because it was a cartoon, and it kept me busy. I needed something to not keep my 5-year-old self bored as hell at the time. I liked it. I remember liking it. I didn't really think too much into it. Even as someone who's currently 28 by the time I'm making this, I never thought too much into it. And I probably will get some like puns that older people will get that us like a 5-year-old wouldn't of at that time, if that makes sense. So Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, which was a pretty good show. The girl who plays Paris, Ashley, not Ashley Stell. That's Brenda Song. Brenda Song. Brenda Song's married to the Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin is a whole nother kid. So it was Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was about like Zack and Cody being twins who their mother lived in a hotel. Paris Tipton, I forget how you pronounce her last name in the show, father owned the hotel. And Mr. Mosby was her guardian appointed by her father. And was like the manager of the Tipton Hotel. That was a comedy too. And even got like a spin-off show called Street Life on Deck, which essentially was the same theme, but just pretend, just imagine a cruise ship, and no, and a whole lot less of Second Cody's mother, because she only came in a few episodes as a cameo. It was a good show. I mean, as a kid's perspective, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I remember it having a crossover with Hannah Montana with and Wizards of Waverly Place and That's So Raven. It was fun. Anywho, Lizzie McGuire. Um, Lizzie McGuire had simply but an undeniably effective premise, diving deep into the thoughts, feelings, and worries of a 13-year-old girl growing into herself. The mission to express Lizzie's inner life was facilitated not only by Hilary Duff herself in a solar star-making performance, but by a unique framing device of having that character cartoon self give monologues directly to the audience. Funny, fresh, and relatable, it was the rare Disney show that was Disney show with enough genuine substance to sustain a theatrical film adaptation, a good one at that. I forgot about the Lizzie McGuire film, but I enjoy this. I think it was a pretty good show. Emperor's New Groove. It's actually or sorry, Emperor's New School. It's a sequel to Emperor's New Groove, and I think it came out before the uh, sequel of Emperor's New Groove came out. The movie where Cusco goes to school to essentially better himself. That was pretty much it. That was the whole premise. And you will see him go on wacky adventures. Um, you see like the guy that he would partner up with in the movie. Forget his name in the movie, voiced by John Goodman. Will make cameos along with his family. But Cusco was the main star. I liked it. I liked it. I think it deserved more seasons than 2 seasons. Oh, Kim Possible. This is a show that crossover with Lilo and Stitch, the series. So a lot of kids throughout the 20th century lived by the dictum that action and adventure were a boys' realm. It speaks to the cultural impact of Kim Possible as now makes the stereotype look so ancient, arguably the single most iconic action animated series of the 2000s. It was a show that truly established the Disney brand in television animation. and made Disney Channel a force to be reckoned with. Plus, the theme song is so freaking iconic. I had a friend, I won't say his name, or at least his last name, but his first name was Kyle, and his last name started with a P. So, like, whenever he would make me mad, I will say K, like, okay, Kim Possible or KP, relating to Kim Possible, and he hated me calling him KP. So I will always say that if he got on my like nerves, tell him, okay, chill, and I was using it as a last resort. Um, but it's like a spy thriller show of Kim Possible being a teenage girl, and she was a teenage spy. That's the best I can give you. And she was voiced by um, that's the girl who voiced Kim Possible. Who was she? Christy Carlson Romano voiced Kim Possible. Um, and that's the Raven, which uh, the clear best of all teen sitcoms launched by Disney is the 2000s. That's So Raven. It was the show that started it all, really consolidating the standing multi-camera sitcom model for a new generation of kids. The show's secret in 3 words being absolutely hilarious, or put it even more brief in just one word, Raven Simone. That's two. But essentially, That's So Raven was all about Raven Baxter, played by Raven Simone, uh, being a high school student, and she could see the future. And a lot of those times he would try to prevent the future. And it was very comedic series. And for a while, like Raven Simone and my own sister looked so much alike with each other that I swear, like for a bit, for a while, not so much anymore, but for a while, if Raven Simone and my sister were hanging out, and if someone asked if they were sisters, I like if those two were my sisters, I would say hell yeah, with pride. Raven Simone is related to me in no way, shape, or form. Phineas and Ferb. When did Phineas and Ferb come out? But it was just like Phineas Ferb doing some wacky experiments over summer vacation, and their sister Candace, also voiced by Ashley Tisdale, tried to ruin whatever their plan was by being one of those siblings that snitched on the parents for every single little thing that the siblings would do. And they had a pet platypus that was a spy. It was so freaking awesome. I love the show. Mm. Oh, in 2007, okay. And then this is a series I haven't seen in a hot minute, Dave the Barbarian. If we told you that the closest to Monty Python movie in the 21st century was Disney Channel show, would you believe it? Sadly, there's none neglectable chance that you wouldn't, if only because a few people saw Dave the Barbarian. The largest swath of the public are still ignorant to the existence, but yes, there, uh, there you have it. The forgotten, commercially non-existent little Disney show was TV's greatest work of medieval satire in a minute. The premise was simple. In the Middle Age, the king and the queen of Ugaroth have left their posts to fight evil around the world, leaving their 3 bumbling kids to take care of the kingdom in their absence. Aided by their incompetent sorcerer uncle and a sassy talking sword, Oh, I forgot about the sword being able to talk. The kids get into every stock medieval adventure in the book while facing off against Chuckles, that silly piggy, the world's grumpiest yet least menacing arch villain. Um, each of the 21 episodes ramped up the goofy, sophisticated, ending ghost humor more and more. This is the kind of show where the narrator routinely argues with the characters, and then, just as you're gotten used to the level of insanity, the villain goes and kidnaps the narrator. It was the smartest, funniest, most incredible thing to come out on Disney Channel. And in its first 25 years of existence, even if nobody personally watched it. Well, the 100 best movies? What? I'm not going to do that, but yeah, those were some of the greats back in the day for Disney Channel. I hope that this or whoever did that does the best of the 12 best shows for Cartoon Network. I would say Nickelodeon, but after knowing what I know now, what the Qui said, I don't know. But I really enjoyed this. This was. I'm really happy I left most of it as it surprised me. I will have to say, for the most part, this was like I agree with this. For the most part, I agree with what they put on there. That's the best. That's just me. Anywho, what do you fellow just think about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love y'all. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. Talk to you fellow mutants later.